Hello, and welcome to this special Foster Care Institute training webinar. Foster Parent Recruitment, creating a strong recruitment program for strong families. The Media and Your Message, Part 2. This is a series of special training webinars for foster care agencies as they recruit new foster parents. And if you have not watched the previous webinars in this series, I encourage you to do so before you watch this one. I'm your host, Dr. John DeGarmo, the founder and director of the Foster Care Institute. I also serve as a consultant the world over for foster care and child welfare programs. I travel the world as an international speaker and trainer. I'm the author of several foster care books and write for a number of magazines and newspapers. Through the years, as a foster and adoptive and biological family, my family has found out the power of media. Media can really do tremendous justice for your agency in spreading the word about what you do, bringing awareness and relevancy to your organization and agency, and for recruiting new foster parents. Our goal during this webinar is to discover how local media can play an important part in recruiting foster parents in your area. We will also increase your awareness of the importance of local media and how it helps with the recruiting process, and gain an understanding of how to develop and implement practices that allow you to better partner with local media when it comes to recruitment. As we saw in part 1 of this two-part webinar series, the power of media, social media, is so important. As your agency seeks to recruit new foster parents, you're putting a message out there about what your agency does and who your agency is, what your agency's mission and vision is. But how is your message of recruitment being heard? Is it being heard? Or is it an empty message that no one is hearing? Indeed, the power of social media is essential when it comes to recruiting new foster parents. If you are not on social media, as we saw in part 1, if you are not on social media, then your agency is no longer relevant. You are no longer relevant when it comes to today's new foster parents because they are online. They are online. And if your agency is not online in a relevant fashion, then you become irrelevant to them. So it is important that you continue to work on your online presence on a daily and consistent basis, using platforms such as Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and of course, as we saw in part 1, the power of YouTube as well. But there is another form of media that you can use to help you spread your message of what your agency does and of recruitment. Traditional media, print, radio, TV. These are the traditional forms of media that we've all grown up with and are still highly used by today's consumers. The power of media is one that should not be understated when it comes to how your community views your foster care agency. How you approach each one is important. To begin with, it is important for your agency that you develop good working relationships with all forms of media in your area, whether they be print, TV, or radio. Yes, this does take time, and yes, it takes consistent efforts on your behalf. Yet, it is essential in helping you promote your message and your recruitment efforts in a positive light. For you see, you are building a working relationship, a relationship which you will have the opportunity to share stories and information with your local media outlets in order to present your message. It can be a relationship where your local media will come to you looking for information and facts on stories they might be covering. In addition, as we know, there are so many negative stories about foster care and foster parenting in the media. It is up to your agency to help dispel many of those misconceptions in your area and in your community. Your local media can help your agency tremendously in your recruitment efforts. If your agency does not already have contacts with your local media, begin to make those connections and develop those relationships. Reach out to your local media, either by picking up a phone, sending emails, or best yet, visiting them in person. Introduce yourself and the agency you work for, and simply say that you wanted to meet with them and let them know that they may reach out to you at any time if you can be of any help with stories they may be working on, and now and in the future. Make sure that you give them your contact information, including your work phone, your cell phone, and email address. Now, your cell phone is important as you never know when they may reach out to you for information and facts on a breaking story. Indeed, when I reach out to journalists, I'm always giving them my cell phone, and I get phone calls at some of the craziest times. Yet I'm always quick to respond because part of my job is to dispel those myths and misconceptions about foster care the world over, and to bring to light what foster parenting and foster care really is all about. Remember, you are the expert in your child welfare and foster care field in your area. An expert that the local media will want to reach out to when they have questions or are working on a story. Part of promoting your recruitment message through your local media is how you present or pitch it. Your recruitment pitch needs to be one that is simple, yet of interest and compelling to both the media outlet and to their readers, listeners, and viewers. If you know the name of your media contact, use it when you reach out with your pitch, so you're making it personal. Journalists in all fields like to feel important. Of course, always thank them at the end of your pitch for their interest, their advocacy for children, their support, and their time. So when reaching out to your media, here are a number of suggestions to keep in mind. Keep your information short and simple. Reporters and journalists are frequently turned away from lengthy information as they are just too busy. Reporters and journalists have deadlines to meet. If they reach out to you for information, respond quickly and help them with their deadlines. This gesture of yours will go a long way in building a working relationship of trust and help you when you need to present information about your agency and recruitment efforts to the public through them. Always be positive. There is enough negative stories about foster care and foster parenting in the media. Even if the reporter and journalist tries to get a negative message from you about foster care and foster parenting for a story, stay on course. Stay on course with your positive message. This includes being positive about your own agency and the foster parents who partner with you. Emphasize that your local community is being impacted by the problem and that your agency is providing help and resources for children and families in crisis where you live. Always provide accurate and honest information. Misleading or false information will turn the reporters and journalists away from you and end your working relationship. If they ask you about something you do not have the answer for, do not make it up, so to speak. Instead, simply let them know that you do not have the information at this time and will get back to them right away with the correct information. Always keep in mind that the reporters and journalists have a job to do at all times. They are always looking for a story. Be professional, be alert. Do not say anything at any time that you do not want repeated in a story to the general public. If you disagree with the information the journalist is providing you, it is your responsibility to say something about it and to speak up. Let them know the information that they might have is inaccurate and provide them with the correct information. When providing information about your recruitment programs or when reporters and journalists come to you for a story, make sure you have all the facts, all the figures to back up what you say. Remember, your recruitment message is your key message. Even when you're helping out reporters and journalists with their own story, it is okay for you to mention that others can help children in foster care in your area by becoming foster parents, and that the need is a strong one and that your agency can help. Continue to reach out to your local media all year long and continue to educate them about foster care and adoption. Remember, you are the expert in your area about all things child welfare, and your reporters and journalists in your area, they may believe some of those myths and misconceptions as well. So it's up to you to educate them so they can bring this to their audience. PSAs and press releases are a fantastic opportunity for your agency to deliver the message about recruitment. Whenever possible, try to avoid having paid advertisements in your local media. Instead, ask your local media to run PSAs and press releases for your agency. PSAs are wonderful to the general public with the intent to deliver information and to raise awareness about a specific cause. One of the benefits of a public service announcement or PSA is that they are free. PSAs can be sent to your local media outlets when you wish to promote an event, including your own recruitment program. It is important to note that a public service announcement is an announcement and not an advertisement. PSAs cannot include any reference to fundraising or suggestions of price fees of any kind. An example of a PSA can be found in the appendix in the book about foster parenting recruitment that is here for you at the Foster Care Institute. Remember, PSAs cannot include any reference to fundraising or suggestion of price or fees of any kind because that will turn the media away from you. Now, another great form of information release is the press release. Press releases are another way you can release information to your media and have done so with no fees attached. A press release is a written document with specific information about an event or an occasion. A good press release is short and generally only one page in length. Like the PSA, your press release can be sent out to your local media when you bring attention to any event you are promoting. Again, no fees should be attached. An example of a press release is found in the appendix section of the Foster Care Recruitment book that is here at the Foster Care Institute. Of course, you can also tie foster parenting in to other news and exciting stories as well. Calendar dates are a fantastic opportunity for your agency to get the word out about your recruitment efforts. Calendar dates, such as Mother's Day and Father's Day, present opportunities for your local media, again, print, radio, TV, to showcase foster families in your community. Back to school time allows opportunities to share with your local media the facts about how children in care in your community often are in need of good school supplies as well as good foster parents. Holidays are a reminder that some children in your area do not have a loving family to call their own, and that there is a need for foster parents who will care and love a child during a time of seasonal gratitude. In addition, the months of April, May, and November allow your agency to bring awareness to foster care through the media. April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. May is National Foster Care Month. November, National Adoption Month. These are all opportunities to highlight the need for foster parents in your community. recruit new foster parents, not only through April, May, and November, for all year long. In addition, in May, you can celebrate new and existing licensed foster parents in your community, while in November, you can celebrate successful adoptions in your area as well. Both of these celebrations allow you to portray foster and adoptive parents in your area in a positive light. At the same time, bring awareness to the needs of the children and the need for new foster parents in your community. Along with this, feature these families during these 2 months on your social media sites and your websites, again, bringing positive awareness and the need for more good foster parents. Despite the increasing popularity of social media, print media still plays a very important role and part in everyday society, and with your agency's foster parent recruitment program as well. There are three main types of print media today: newspaper, magazine, and newsletter. Newspapers are the most traditional and widely used of this medium, and generally the least expensive way to reach a large audience in regards to print. Magazines are another popular way to reach an audience, and these may be published weekly, monthly, quarterly, or even annually. Newsletters are still another popular form of print media and are often used for promotional purposes. They are generally inexpensive to create and publish. Finally, brochures are a form of print media that are also able to have a lot of information in a small package, so to speak. A brochure is generally one page in length, and yet are often split into several different and distinct sections. Without a doubt, your agency's recruitment program can benefit greatly from print media. If you have a positive and healthy working relationship with newspaper editors and journalists in your area, as well as any local magazines, keep them up to date with any events your agency has planned, including your recruitment efforts. Continue to share information with these outlets and journalists about the foster care crisis and the lack of foster homes in your area, and stress the importance of your recruitment programs and your efforts. Ask the journalists and reporters if they would like to access more information from you and your agency, and if they would like to interview you. It is possible that your local print media may wish for you to write an article or story for the paper. Remember, you are the expert to go to in regards to all things child welfare in your area for your local media. And the media will be relying upon you for information and as important go-to person in regards to a story and a resource when a story might break. If this is the case, be prepared to say yes, even if you feel you're not a very good writer. This is a chance for you to provide information about your agency and your recruitment program. You do not wish to turn this opportunity down. If you do, you may be indicating that you are difficult to work with or unreliable. Furthermore, you might wish to ask your newspaper or magazine in your area if you could provide a regular foster care and foster parent column for the paper. Perhaps you could offer or suggest to your local print media the opportunity for you to provide a regular foster care and foster parenting column. Whether it is a column that is weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, annually, whatever it might be. This is a great opportunity to promote your agency and your recruitment program to a large audience on a consistent basis for no charge. Indeed, your agency can carefully construct your message that you wish to promote on a regular basis in a regular column. Many newspapers and magazines gladly accept such regular columns, as they know that it is a consistent column of interest that will be provided to them with the work already being done free of charge. Of course, when you have an event such as a recruitment night or foster parent appreciation banquet or other events, invite your local print media to attend and cover the event. Many newspapers, and radio and TV for that matter, are able to send reporters to cover a newsworthy event for later coverage, or in the case of radio and TV, perhaps even a live coverage. Of course, it is a representative form if a representative from your local media does attend, be prepared to be interviewed. Have sources and statistics available for them, as well as your printed material, your brochures, your pamphlets, your books, etc. Always be ready to talk about the need for foster parents and homes for children in your community. Give them your business card, your phone numbers, and all means of contacting you if they should have additional questions about this or any other story. Finally, thank them for attending the event and being an advocate for children and family in needs in your area. Another way to promote your foster care recruitment program is through your local newspaper's community calendar. Newspapers across the nation, both large and small, often have a community calendar or column section in it. For some newspapers, the calendar is weekly, while others might be monthly. Let your local newspaper know when you are hosting your next foster recruitment effort or any event and request that it be placed in their community calendar. Include the time, date, location, and information for each event. Indeed, radio does the same thing. Many radio stations often have a weekly section or a weekly program where they update information about their own community. Radio continues to be a popular form of media. Over 90% of Americans listening to a radio station at least 2 hours every single day. Now, whether it is at work or at home, while driving in the car, or shopping at a store, people are listening to the radio in some way each day. Your foster care agency can benefit tremendously from your local radio stations. Just as it is with print media, you can get free publicity for your agency and recruitment program through the medium of radio. As we noted before, you are the expert in adoption, the expert in foster care, the expert in child welfare related issues in your area, your community. Reach out to your local radio stations and remind them of this. The radio stations that will be interested are those that are talk and news based. These stations will regularly seek listener feedback as well as to provide news and information to their listeners and their audience. Thus, these are the stations you will want to focus your time and your attention upon. If there are any college radio stations or public radio stations in your area, include these in your outreach as well. When you reach out to these stations, ask if you could speak to the news director or someone in a similar position. If none exists at a particular station, ask to speak to the station manager or station director. As it is with print media, you need to create a positive working relationship with your station, one that they know they can depend on when a story is breaking, or they can depend on you when a story or information is needed. Reassure them that they can call you for information and resources anytime that they are in need of when a story might break in your area regarding child welfare related issues. In addition, propose to them that you are happy to be an expert that they can interview when needed about topics regarding adoption, child welfare, foster care, etc. You're giving your agency free publicity, free promotions. The Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, requires that a specific amount of radio time be allotted to non-profit organizations. If your agency is a non-profit, request that the stations you have a working relationship with run PSAs for you and your agency on the radio. These PSAs can be centered around recruiting foster parents or about foster care in general. PSAs on radio can reach a large audience on a consistent and regular basis, perhaps several times a day, and throughout each week and every month. You can find some examples of transcripts for radio PSAs in the appendix section in the foster care book here at the Foster Care Institute. People like recognition and businesses do as well. One way you can help to grow and strengthen your relationship with your local radio station is by recognizing their efforts when they help your agency out with press releases, PSAs, stories, and simply bringing awareness to both your agency and to foster parenting. You can show appreciation by recognizing and thanking the station manager or the editor of a newspaper or a journalist, both in public and in person, as well as through your various social media sites. So consider listing the station, or the newspaper if you'd like, as an in-kind donor on your website and social media by displaying their station logo on your page or site where you recognize your donors and contributors. Include this information in your end-of-year report, your annual report as well. This same approach with recognition should also be applied to both print media and TV. TV. The same rules apply for getting press coverage with radio and newspaper are much the same for your local television stations. Invite your local TV news stations to attend and cover a recruitment night, a foster parent appreciation banquet, or any type of foster care, foster parenting related event. Again, the TV stations in your area are looking for stories to cover. They're looking for content to have on air. And when you provide it to them, many times they will jump at the chance because they're getting some work done through you, through your agency. So reach out to your local TV stations and remind them again, you are the expert in foster care and child welfare field. And if they need information or source material for a story that's breaking in your area, to call upon you. As we've seen here at other webinars of the Foster Care Institute during this recruitment program series, Wednesday's Child is another fantastic form that agencies across the nation are using and employing for the recruitment efforts. Perhaps your TV station in your area would offer to do a weekly or monthly Wednesday's Child program for your foster care agency. Many TV stations across the country do so. Each week they have a 2 or 3 minute Wednesday's Child program where they're teaming up with a foster care agency in their area, spotlighting a child and talking about the need for new foster parents in their area. This is a fantastic, fantastic opportunity for your agency to do recruitment for free on a large, large basis. There are so many areas, so many ways, so many opportunities in all forms of media, both social media and traditional media, for your foster care agency to get out the message that you're looking for new foster parents, the need for new foster parents, the need for homes for children in crisis in your area. So many opportunities to do so for free or for very little money. For much more on this, visit the Foster Care Institute at Dr. John DeGarmo, fostercare.com. Follow me at Facebook and Twitter, Dr. John DeGarmo, on LinkedIn and YouTube as well. And if I can answer any questions at all for you, please email me at drjohndegarmo@gmail.com. Hey, a great resource for your foster parents is the Foster Care Survival Guide, the essential guide for today's foster parents. This is a book that foster parents across the nation and world asked me to write. A book filled with quotations and resources that they requested. This is a book that your foster parents need. And there are so many books at the Foster Care Institute as well. I know you're busy. I know you have much to do. I know you are probably wearing many hats. I know that you seldom see your own family sometimes because of all that you have to do with your agency. So I just want to personally say thank you for all that you're doing. Continue to do the good work and know that you have a fan here at the Foster Care Institute, that Dr. John DeGarmo appreciates and respects all that you do each and every single day. For the Foster Care Institute, I'm Dr. John DeGarmo.